Hello everyone, this is part 15 of What If Naruto Was Sealed Because He Was Too Powerful, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist to see more. Comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Are you all prepared to leave, Master? Yes, Hamako-chan. You've got all of your weapons. With all of the scrolls I've got and the stuff I carry on my person at all times, I'm armed to the teeth. You've got your suppression seals for the Kyuubi's chakra. Yes, I've already given enough to Sunagakure already that she could probably use one to stop me every day on this mission from now on forward though. Well, it is one of only two things that you can adequately make. Now why did you have to go and kill my self-esteem like that, Hamako-chan? Naruto was leaning against the front gate in the same clothing he had taken to wearing recently, with Hamako doting over him before he was to leave to escort Tsunade to Sunagakure for the finals of the Chunin exam. He hadn't really seen anyone from his graduating class around town since he had returned, but he then put two and two together and realized they must have all made it to the finals of the exams. Hinata and Shino had been promoted last time around, so they were probably on a mission. Shikamaru probably went with Asuma to watch the proceedings, and Team Guy, who had been promoted immediately after their next exams, were probably busy, because being a rookie Chunin did suck. You weren't high profile enough to really put in for downtime, but you were considered just good enough to get back-to-back, real, missions. Naruto gave a glance to his pleasant companion. Are you going to be alright while I'm gone? Hamako rolled her eyes with a smile on her face. I was fine when you left for half a year, Naruto-sama. I don't think a week or so without you here will be too much to handle. You will be missing my birthday though, she said, pouting playfully. Oh, I'm sorry, Hamako-chan. Naruto said, actually somewhat upset by this. He had been gone for half a year, leaving her pretty much on her own. All she really had were his own loose acquaintances to block being lonely. It did make him wonder if she had really been okay with him leaving, or if she had just been putting up a facade so that he didn't worry. She smiled and waved it off. It's alright, Master. You don't get to dictate your own schedule, I know. And since I am your servant, I am also basically controlled by your schedule. Naruto frowned. You're more than a servant, Hamako-chan. You're way more important than you make yourself seem. Even if you don't agree with me, your master froze you inside the vault for a reason. Hamako nodded. I think I know why he did it. I'm certain he knew that the Uzumaki bloodline was too stubborn to just die out, and he put me there so that I could assist a future generation of them upon being discovered. Why else would he have placed me in an area that could only be accessed by one of your lineage? So the way you speak as if it isn't my job to do these things for you, that is actually contradictory, because you are the entire reason I exist. Okay. This girl was really starting to remind him of Haku, only she seemed more prone to emotion, most of them positive. She was really receptive to the whole being his underling thing, something he didn't think he would ever get accustomed to, but she simply accepted it right off the bat. Hell, she suggested it and insisted on it in the first place. Naruto shrugged mentally. If this was what she wanted, he couldn't just keep trying to get her to stop. Hopefully she wouldn't get too into the whole servant thing, but if he had his way he would wean her onto her own independence. Naruto pulled her into a hug, catching her somewhat off guard. I'll bring you back a present, okay? Something cool, because it's not like I'm going to be short on funds when this mission is over. Just take care of yourself. Hamako smiled serenely and returned his hug. What if I get something from Sai? She whispered to him, knowing that Naruto wanted to keep everything about his relationship with Root under wraps. Naruto whispered right back, just keep it until I get back. I wouldn't be able to handle anything else on this mission anyway. Okay, Naruto-sama. Naruto let go of the hug as Tsunade and Shizune came into view, allowing Hamako to bow to the blonde woman. Good morning, Hokage-sama, Shizune-san. Tsunade smiled at the girl. Hello, Hamako. Has this knucklehead been treating you well? She asked, ignoring the indignant rambling from Naruto in response. A slight laugh came from Hamako. Yes, Hokage-sama, things are very well here in Konoha. Naruto-sama is a good boy. Naruto sweet-dropped. I am basically a near 15-year-old man that has been known to kill people with twice my age and experience, and I'm being talked about like a 5-year-old by my village leader and the girl that lives with me and has sworn my allegiance to me. A lot of those things in that sentence sounded good, And I'm sure you can guess which one didn't seem so great. Hamako turned to him. I am still older than you, master. Naruto sighed. I know. How old are you going to be anyway when your birthday comes around? I will be 15. Hamako added helpfully. Naruto rubbed the back of his head and looked away. Well, I figured that much. I was meaning more along the lines of how old will you really be? In actual years, not in cryo time. The street got awfully silent after he said that. What did I say? Hamako narrowed her eyes on Naruto. I will be 15, master. Naruto looked around in confusion as if he were caught in some kind of loop while trying to run through the mental math in his head, failing miserably because no one really ever told him exactly when Sunagakure fell, just saying that it was around 20 years ago, which could have meant anything. I know that, but for real, how old will you? I will be 15, master. Hamako asserted sternly, unconsciously leaking killing intent. He didn't quite get why he was getting the vibe of him about to be getting disemboweled from not only Hamako, but from Sunad and to a lesser but still noticeable extent Shizune, but he decided that in this case, getting to the truth about a badly kept secret could actually be detrimental to him for once, and figured that smiling and nodding was his best way out of this. Thusly Naruto gave her a toothy grin and a thumbs up, ignoring the feeling of impending death when he did so, super amazing expensive gift for you when I come back, right? Yes please. Hamako perked back up. Be safe on your mission, Naruto-sama. With that, Naruto bade her goodbye and set out with Sunad and Shizune towards Sunagakure. 3 days later, Kei's no Kuni en route to Sunagakure. For the last time, Naruto. Sunad said, currently decked out in full cage gear as they made their way through the desert. You aren't wearing the robes and the hat, so stop asking. Come on, Sunad barkin. Naruto tried to reason, his hood up to avoid the desert sun beating down from above. Think of it like this, just let me henge into you and you into me and I'll be your body double until we get to Suna. It's a totally sound idea. Besides, I'm going to be wearing that stuff soon enough anyway, I might as well get used to it now. Sunad shot an amused glance to her left where Naruto was standing. Jiraiya said you were gunning for Hokage these days. What makes you think you actually have what it takes, brat? Naruto put on a thinking face. Well, I'm Minato Namikaze's kid, the remnant of a powerful clan, and loosely related to you, so I have the lineage, one would say. If you would promote me again, I could start proving that I'm strong enough more than I already have. Oh, and I already beat you back when we first met, so I have a recorded win over a Sannin. Sunad got a tick mark on her head. That was not a recorded fight, you idiot. I was using one finger and was taking it easy on you, and I still ended up knocking you flat on your spiky blonde ass. Naruto grinned at her. I never told you to go easy on me, and you made the terms of the fight making it an exhibition bout. You ended up using your entire hand to wail on my face, thus you broke the stipulation and lost. Therefore I won, therefore I have a victory over you. And I have witnesses. Shizune Nichan, Ero Kyofu, and Tonton all saw me take you back to school. You should really stop talking before I pick you up and chuck you in Sunad's general direction. Sunad threatened. Naruto's eyes were shaded by the hood draped over his face. That actually sounds pretty useful. He looked over at the dark-haired medic holding a small pig. Do you want Sunad Barkan to throw you across the desert too, Shizune Nichan? It has to beat walking. I hate the desert. Sunad flicked Naruto in the back of the head, propelling him forward into a sand dune. As a smile came to her face, Shizune rushed over to dig Naruto out alongside Tonton. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Sunad laughed as she neared her bodyguards. Shizune, I hit the runt harder than that on a near daily basis. He's fine. Naruto popped out of the dune, hacking out sand and brushing it out of his hair. That was totally unnecessary, by the way. Shut the hell up, Naruto, would have worked just fine. I do follow your orders after all. Sunad picked him up by his collar and dropped him back on his feet as they kept walking. I said to stop talking. Naruto scowled as Shizune picked the rest of the sand out of his hair. No, you suggested that I stop talking. If you had directly told me to shut up, I would have. I'm not insubordinate, Bar-chan. If you order me to do something, I'm going to do it no matter how I feel about it. You don't question orders, Naruto-kun. Ever? Shizune asked as she kept messing with his hair. Naruto looked over at Sunad. She knows right. About how I was trained. Sunad nodded. I told her after you told me. She knows not to say anything about it. Alright then. Naruto shrugged. Yeah, I question orders. You hear me mouth off about some of my missions all the time, because griping and nitpicking is fun. But I never say I'm not going to do something, I always take the missions and after I accept I don't complain. You should know why I don't, Shizune-nichan. She frowned and nodded, because of Danzo and Root, right? Naruto pulled his hood back up when he felt she was done. Well, Danzo Gigi tried putting his stupid seal on the back of my tongue, but I kept breaking it. When it would activate and paralyze me, I would just get pissed off, flare the Kyuubi's chakra, and the damn thing would disappear. He must have tried to re-educate me about 7 or 8 times because of it. Old bastard, that shit was painful. Shizune looked appalled. That's awful. Naruto shook his head. That's Root. He wanted obedient operatives, and I originally went to him, not the other way around. I wanted to be a ninja so bad, so while I would never let him own me, I did do everything he told me to do. He didn't have to train me after he realized that I wouldn't be like all of the others, but he did anyway, and while his training was unspeakably harsh, I was the one that asked for it, and it's the entire reason I can do the things I do today. Naruto's eye twitched and he grabbed his head before speaking in monotone. Ow. Shizune looked at him strangely for saying, ow, randomly, what happened? Naruto rubbed his temple. When I relieved you at nightwatch at 2 in the morning, I made a ton of cage bunshin to guard the area as well. Before we left, I told them to train my nature manipulation, and the bastards all decided to dispel at the same time. Tsunade heaved a sigh. Don't train while you're on a mission, brat. What's wrong with you? Naruto growled lowly at the pain of his headache, only to exhale in relief when a pair of glowing green hands ran over the sides of his head. Thank you, Shizune-nichan. And technically, Bar-chan, it isn't me training into the ground, I just got a headache. You can get a headache eating a damn ice cream cone. And before you say anything, that was not insubordination, that was an opinion on my own personal well-being. Whatever. Tsunade let the situation drop as the sight of Suna came up in the distance. Look alive. Shizune knows the drill, but you know nothing about being a dignitary, Naruto. Before you say anything about your mission way back when in Kumo, you weren't anything then because Homura never let you do anything or go anywhere with him. You were a glorified tagalong that was left to your own devices. Naruto frowned because she was right. Oh well, consider this a learning experience. Tsunade gave Naruto a business-like look. Here, you will need to tone it down some. Talk to me before you do anything. Causing international incidents aren't going to fly here like they did in Kumogakure. Keep your senses sharp. I'm counting on you to intercept any threats that may come my way, and don't expect that just because we're in an allied village filled with ninja that I may not be attacked. If you have any questions or concerns, or you notice something off, don't hesitate to talk to me or Shizune about it. That is what your job is. Naruto nodded in complete seriousness. Shizune gave him a small smile. We know you're good at the assault part of being a shinobi, Naruto-kun, you've proven that. But this is really the most high-profile escort job you've ever done. It's not about going out to find the enemy and destroy them, it's about keeping the danger away from something important, about keeping it safe. In this case, that something is Tsunade-sama. Tsunade snorted. Please, Shizune, you make it seem like I'm some fragile glass figurine. I'm not Hokage just because of my pretty face, you know. Naruto snickered, especially since it's just a powerful henge. Don't kill your bodyguard, Bar-chan, that's counterproductive. Naruto yelled as he ducked and covered his head in anticipation of a strike that Tsunade had already wound up for. Shizune sweet dropped and nudged him forward from behind, getting him to stumble ahead. Naruto chuckled as he regained his balance. Yeah, don't worry. I'll do everything I have to do to make sure I don't let either of you down. Just remember that I'm not really accustomed to hanging back and watching things unfold. I'm more of the, go there and beat the crap out of that, kind of guy, so if I start stepping out of line, feel free to check me, non-physically of course. Tsunade had a serious face on as they neared the entrance of the village, guarded by 2 Suna ninja. Well, just be ready for rapid response in any event. One of the ninja guarding the way in immediately came up to the traveling party. Welcome to Sunagakure, Hokage-sama. The Kazekage has requested your presence at his office upon your arrival, if you will permit it. Tsunade nodded. Of course. I trust that my security detail are allowed to remain with me throughout the proceedings. Yes, Hokage-sama. If you would follow me to the Kazekage residence. The guard led them into the village. On the way to the meeting, Naruto noticed that the looks the group had been getting were no longer hostile as they were for him when he had escorted Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro back home following the invasion that had taken place before Tsunade's inauguration as Hokage. The looks were more like awe, something Naruto obviously chalked up to the fact that Tsunade was walking through their village in her robes. As they arrived at the Kazekige's building and were escorted all the way to the office, Naruto had been expecting to be taken straight to the council chamber that he ended up sitting in for 3 hours during his last trip to Suna, but they ended up being taken straight to an office with an ornate door, not too different from the one that signified Tsunade's office. Naruto raised his eyebrows in curiosity. Well, I guess that it has been 2 years since the Kazekige was killed. It's only natural someone else took the spot. Wondering who it was, Naruto followed alongside Tsunade into the office after the door had been opened by the guard, and Naruto froze in place when he realized exactly who it was sitting behind the desk. No way. Tsunade smirked as she saw Naruto's reaction out of the corner of her eye. Even Shizune had to give off a small giggle. Greetings, Kazekige Dono. It is good to see you in good health, Hokage Dono, said a monotone voice, and you as well, Naruto Uzumaki. The spiky short red hair and the kanji for love on the left side of his forehead, dressed in Kazekige robes, was none other than Sabaku no Gaara. Naruto looked between the robed Tsunade and the robed Gaara about 4 times. Can I speak freely, Hokage-sama? Kazekige-sama. You may, were the responses from the two leaders, though one was exponentially more jovial in tone than the other. Thank you. Naruto nodded before taking a breath. What the fuck, Gaara? You can't write a letter. And nobody thought that this was something I would like to know. Tsunade had an amused grin on her face. He was given the position and inaugurated while you were off on your little rampage against Orochimaru's bases. How were we supposed to contact you to tell you when we couldn't even find you? Gaara then spoke. Besides, your Hokage decided it would be far more amusing if you didn't know when you came to collect your bounty. And speaking of that, there are 2 people that want to speak to you about that. Naruto looked at him curiously, still not overseeing Gaara as the Kazekige. Well, sure, as long as the reason they want to see me isn't to kill me. I get enough of that. He stood in place just staring at Gaara. So, Kazekige, running a village. How's that working out for you? A small smirk came to Gaara's face. Fantastic actually. You should try it. Naruto returned the smirk. Oh, I will, just you wait. If you're already Kazekige, then all I have to do is wait for Tsunade Barken to retire and that damn hat is all mine. Where is your hat, by the way? Gaara shrugged. I don't like wearing the hat indoors. Naruto's eyes widened. I would bronze that hat and have it surgically attached to my scalp if I could. I don't get you guys. Sandaime Gigi wore it all the time, and so would I. They would literally have to pry the damn thing from my cold dead hands. Gaara was legitimately interested in Naruto's choice of a dress for Tsunade. Uzumaki, why do you refer to the Hokage in such a familiar manner? Naruto shrugged. Aside from the fact that she let me speak freely and hasn't told me to shut up yet, after a bit of digging I found that she is legitimately related to me way down the line, so it's appropriate. Tsunade interjected. Alright Naruto, that's enough for now. The Kazekige has called us here for business. Gaara nodded. Yes, I have invited you here to observe the final round of the Chunin exam selection tournament due to Konoha having 4 participants involved. However, I have also invited the village of Iwa to watch the event as well. Naruto got stone-faced at the sound of Iwa, as did Tsunade. Gaara took notice of this. Is there a problem? I understand the latent aggression from your 2 villages after the war all those years ago, but can we not let the matter settle? Naruto looked at Tsunade, who nodded her consent. I'm kind of the son of Minato Namikaze, Gaara. I've never really said anything about it since I found out because for the most part it doesn't really matter, but in this case it's kind of a big deal. Gaara showed no surprise to the revelation. I see. That is somewhat astonishing, but it makes sense. Most Jinchuriki are related in some way to the leaders of their villages to instill loyalty, though I do not see how that would have worked if you still didn't know. Anyway, Naruto continued, what's the over-under that the Chushikage sends assassins after me after he realizes who I am? All it's going to take is one good look at me for any of them to hate my guts. Tsunade sighed and took a seat by Gaara's desk. If it's still the same old man from when I was a kid, then he'll definitely know you at first glance. The fact that your Jinchuriki status is now common knowledge would only make that worse. Tell me why you told me to let that out again. I'm already being pursued by Akatsuki. Keep your eyes open for that, by the way, Gaara. But anyway, at this point if it gets out and Iwa starts sending people to kill me, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell they'll actually send someone capable of finishing me off. Maybe if I were my old stupid sealed self then most definitely, I would be a dead man walking right now, but I just got through killing Suna's most infamous missing ninja and have been obliterating Oto bases for the last half year. He blinked and looked at Sunad. Am I in the bingo book yet? She shook her head. No, you haven't caused any kind of stir with any nations yet, so you're not on anyone's radar. And you don't want to be in a bingo book anyway, brat. What's wrong with you? I'm trying to get famous, Bar-chan. Naruto shouted before silently musing to himself, it's my mission after all. Whoever becomes Hokage when no one has ever even heard of you. That's why Danzo Gigi found it so hard to get his name in the argument after my old man died. He had spent so much time running Black Ops and underground stuff that people had forgotten about him both in the village and abroad. He was too good at orchestrating it and keeping himself in the shadows. Gaara returned to the issue at hand. In any case, do you think I should position any protection around Uzumaki? I would rather not have another war start at another Chunin exam if I could help it. He looked at Naruto. You seem to have very bad luck with Chunin exams. Tell me about it. Naruto sighed. I think it would be better for the world in general if I just stopped knowing about these things. I'm 2 for 2 with these things so far, so it can't just be a coincidence. I'm not even in this one. Gaara placed his hands together on his desk. Well, now I would like to speak to Hokage Dono about matters alone. I have to ask your guardians to step outside of the room. Naruto looked at Sunad, who nodded to him and gestured for him to leave along with Shizune. Gaara spoke again just as they reached the door. Those wanting to speak with you about your run-in with Sasori will find you outside of the office while we have our meeting inside. With that, Naruto and Shizune exited. 2 hours later. Naruto and Shizune were seated on a bench in the hall leading towards the office, simply waiting for either the meeting to end or for whoever it was that wished to speak with Naruto. So you're telling me that I can't ever learn Bar-chan's strength-enhancing jutsu because it requires medic nin control? But if you can use it, then why don't you? Shizune laughed sheepishly. I never liked using taijutsu or fighting in general. All of the things I use in combat are generally ranged techniques with poison. As of now, the only people that can use that technique are Tsunade-sama, myself, and Sakura Haruno. Naruto's eyes widened. When the hell did she learn how to do that? Shizune smiled at him. She started learning it a few months ago while you were gone and during her stay, and soon as she finished her training for the technique. She sent a letter back saying she did. She's very gifted at medical ninjutsu as well. Well, good for her. Naruto grinned before returning his face to a placid outlook. But I can't ever learn it. Oh well, I'll just have to get along with raw brute force and keep developing that. Shizune blinked. How strong physically are you, Naruto-kun? With or without the Kyuubi? He questioned in return. Both, Shizune said. Naruto thought on it. Without the Kyuubi, I would say that the only people in Konoha that can actually outmuscle me are adult Akamaki, Maito Guy, and of course Tsunade Barkan. Rock Lee might be able to do it if he's been doing guys training for all of these years, and I'm sure Ero Kyofu can do it too, but the last time we sparred I couldn't get him to go all out on me, so I wouldn't know for sure. With the Kyuubi, well, let's just say that Bar-chan isn't the only one that can finger flick walls down. Naruto Uzumaki. The attention of the two was grabbed by a diminutive elderly woman walking up to them. Are you Naruto Uzumaki, the boy credited with the defeat of Akasuna no Sasori? Naruto and Shizune looked at each other before Naruto spoke up. I am. Who's the one curious about it? The old woman gave Naruto an appraising look before speaking once more. I am Chiyo, and I am the grandmother of the man you killed in battle. Both Konoha ninja paled at that revelation. Damn it. I can't believe this crap is going to start another war. He came after me. Chiyo then bowed before them. I apologize for Sasori's actions against you. By now it is common knowledge who you are, Uzumaki-san. You became somewhat famed around Suna for being the only person that has ever defeated our Kazekage in battle, and your character has been vouched for countless times by the Kazekage and his siblings. If you engaged him in battle, then he attacked you first. He was a missing nin regardless of that anyway. So, Naruto felt out. Am I still getting paid? Naruto, you glorious bastard, was Naruto's warning before he was picked up and engulfed in a hug from a larger-than-him Kankuro who rushed over upon seeing him. I can't believe you actually defeated Sasori, and you brought him back. I've got permission from Chiyo Basama to use him as a new puppet. Good to see you too, Kankuro. Naruto strained out before he looked at Kankuro strangely. Wait, I obliterated his body. How the hell could you use him as a puppet? Kankuro grinned. He had spare bodies on him, sealed on a piece that you actually left intact. Naruto nodded. Of course he did. Well, it's a good thing I hit the heart when I destroyed him, isn't it? Gaara's Kazekage, have you been promoted yet? If possible. Kankuro's grin got wider. I'm a Chunin now. Temari is too. Naruto's eye twitched, because that's fair and everything. I can't get promoted by Bar-chan to save my life and you guys just sleepwalk right past me in rank. He turned to Shizune. When this is over I seriously need to put in for a promotion. Speaking of Temari, Kankuro trailed off, looking at Naruto in amusement. She's looking to have some choice words with you. You're so lucky she isn't here right now. Me? Naruto asked. What the hell did I do? Kankuro leaned against the wall near the bench as Naruto sat back next to Shizune. Well, you haven't even spoken to her since we left Konoha after the joint mission for your Uchiha kid. It's been 2 years since we've even talked to you, kid. Naruto almost face faltered. I've been busy. Between the ridiculous training I had to do to master my element, missions to other nations, and the long assignment to hunt for Orochimaru's bases, I have had almost no downtime. How could I have possibly visited? And about that, Kankuro added, ever since Gaara's been Kazekage, she's been Suna's liaison to Konoha, and she didn't know about your mission when she wanted to see you, and she's very pissed off for a myriad of reasons that I'm not going to go into right now. Besides the not seeing us part, she's also mad because went off and got into a fight to the death with Suna's greatest puppeteer all on your own. Chio was still standing there as the boys had been catching up, but it had finally swung back to a topic of her interest. How were you confronted by Sasori anyway? Naruto sighed. I didn't go looking for the guy. He came to me when I was perusing through my clan's ancestral village ruins, him and some bomber freak with mouths in his hands. Deidara was his name. Somehow I isolated Sasori and was able to kill him before the other retreated. If I don't see her before I leave, you tell her that wasn't my fault, I am a victim here. Kankuro nodded. Sure thing. But that will only work if you're going to be gone by sunrise, because she's going to be back tomorrow. Naruto sweet dropped. You're an ass, you know that. So I hear from Temari on a daily basis. Kankuro said as he started walking away. See you later, Naruto. Chio turned to follow him out as well. Before you leave, be sure to allow the slug woman to let you collect your money, young man. You're getting quite a hefty sum for it. Naruto nodded in agreement and looked at Shizune as he had picked up on the way that Chio had referred to Tsunade. The dark-haired medic shrugged. She doesn't like Tsunade-sama because she kept countering her poisons during the Second Great Ninja War. People seem to be very good at holding grudges. Naruto sighed. Old people especially. Oh man, if that lady is mad at you and Bar-chan for her just coming up with counters to her poisons like 30 years ago, then how pissed off at me is the Chushikage going to be after my old man single-handedly made their village his bitch 16 years ago. Shizune patted Naruto on the back. It's okay, Naruto-kun, he might. She cut herself off when she realized how accurate that statement could have been and laughed nervously. Well, maybe you could wear your hood for your entire time here. Naruto slumped in his seat. Oh man, that fucking thing is hot. The next day, Naruto, Shizune, and Tsunade were seated in a Suna cafe with Tsunade actually permitted to indulge in a little sake due to the vacation-esque feel that the entire trip had. Naruto was sitting and practicing his seal-making speed on napkins while Tsunade drank. Shizune had a small cake for herself, and Tonton had a small bowl of corn. Why did we get here so early? The fights aren't until tomorrow. And where is everybody right now? Can't we see them before the finals? Tsunade downed her saucer and looked at Naruto. Brat, we can't just run off to see them like that. My apprentice is in the damn thing tomorrow. Don't you think I would like to see how she's doing before tomorrow? But I'm also the leader of the village, and any interference from a cage on a competitor's training would be seen as some kind of favoritism, even if it was just to see how any of them are doing. We are in a foreign village after all. They would know and use it when it came time to judge on the growth and skill. She looked at the scowl on his face and realized his problem with a sigh. You are so bored it's killing you right now, aren't you? Naruto gave her a hopeless look, desperately. I can't even train, and I can only work on so much fuinjutsu stuff without Hamako-chan here, because if she finds out that I've been trying to freestyle seals without her permission again, she'll kill me. He let out a small shiver. She's so sweet, how can she be so damnably scary too? It's a paradox. He turned puppy dog eyes to Shizune. Can we please spar, Shizune Nichan? Shizune quickly averted her eyes. We can't fight Naruto-kun. We have to make sure we stay in top condition in case something happens. And from what I've heard from Jiraiya-sama about training you, you don't know how to hold back. I'm a medic ninja, but I would still be less than 100% if a real battle were to break out. Okay, he said dejectedly before turning to Tsunade. Bar-chan, do you want to fight? Come on, you know you want your rematch with me. I can see it in your eyes, those big brown orbs are just screaming at you to tear me apart and get your win back. Tsunade gave Naruto a dry look as she refilled her saucer. As much fun as it would be to slap you around the desert, you are my bodyguard brat and I can't in good conscience cause the physical bodily harm to you that I would like to for that asinine remark. Here. She then got a smirk on her face. I will keep that in mind however when we get back to Konoha. I need a new human punching bag to spar with. I can't go all out on Sakura because I'm supposed to be training her, but you don't have that safeguard on you, do you? And beating your ass would be the next best thing to beating Jiraiya's ass when I can't catch him for being a glorified pervert. With your healing factor you should be able to take it right. Naruto thought to himself, this could either be really good or really bad, a fight with my own Hokage. In an effort to put this in the back of your mind for further thought, just smile and nod in agreement. He then actionized his thoughts before he felt cold iron being set on top of his head. Hello Temari-chan. Good to see you again, if I could actually see you. Hello Naruto. The fan freed itself from Naruto's head, allowing the boy to turn around to catch sight of her. Temari now wore a black Sunagakure 8 on her head, a black battle dress, black gloves, and a red sash around her waist. Her ever-present iron fan was strapped to her back as always. You don't know how to keep in contact with people. Naruto sighed. I could have told you where I had been for a lot of the last 2 years, but I would have had to kill you after sending the letter. Temari placed her hands on her hips. Anything to say in your defense? Yes, actually. Naruto said with full confidence. Blame her. He said pointing at Tsunade, you should know being a rookie Chunin sucks. Well, try that being cranked up to 12 with the rate she had me working at. In the last 2 years, 14 months of it have been spent working long missions. Add that onto the banes of my existence, gate guarding duty and routine border patrol, and my ass has been run ragged. He looked at Tsunade. Why the hell did you make me work so much anyway, Tsunade Barkin? I know for a fact that Shikamaru didn't work 1/3 of the schedule one kept. Tsunade shrugged. When I had a joint meeting with the upper-ranked ninja a few months after my inauguration to go over our mission influx, I talked about how I needed someone to fall on the explosive note of picking up a lot of the slack. Guy, Kakashi, Anko, Genma, and you raised your hands to volunteer. Oh, he said as he thought back to it, I honestly was not paying attention to a single word you said in that meeting, it was so boring. I just raised my hand at the end because I saw other people doing it. You never elaborated on what it was I had raised hand for, and nobody said anything about it after that, so I thought it was totally inconsequential, especially when nothing happened after that. Tsunade and Shizune sweet dropped, and that's why we haven't promoted you yet. They said in unison. Naruto stood up abruptly. Oh come on. It was staff meeting. Not a war meeting, not a mission briefing, but a staff meeting. Nothing important is ever said at staff meetings, especially to the Chunin in attendance. We're too high ranked to avoid them, and too low ranked to get anything out of them. Temari gave Naruto a look that had an air of indifference, but listening to her tone one could tell that she was somewhat perturbed. Well, the last time I was in Konoha I found something quite interesting. How long have you had a girl living in your house with you? This one was an easy bullet to dodge for Naruto. It depends on when you were there. She's been there for almost 6 months, but I haven't been there in 6 months, so technically she only lived with me for about a week, then I left, then I lived with her another week. She called you Master and Naruto-sama. Temari said. Naruto responded, if anything I would call her an old family friend, not a servant. She seems to really be into calling me that, so I let her, and I let her live with me for personal reasons. However, she is just an old family friend. An old family friend. He emphasized. Meanwhile in Konoha, Hamiko had taken to visiting Iruka Umino and being something of a teacher's aide for the academy when Naruto was out on missions, due to not having a lot to do when he was gone. Kids had taken a shine to her due to her pleasant demeanor being a welcome contrast whenever Iruka got into lecture mode, and the little she knew on the subject of ninja arts, while incredibly specialized, helped Iruka out when he had gone over the basics of sealing with older students. Instead of just showing him a sealing scroll and having them come to their own conclusions on what to think, he had Hamiko lecture for the day instead, actually teaching him something in addition to the students. Currently, however, Hamiko was assisting Iruka in grading papers while the class were outside for lunch when she looked up with a somewhat blank look on her face, getting Iruka's attention. "Hamiko, is anything the matter?" Hamiko frowned. "I'm not sure, Iruka-san. But I have an overwhelming urge to find Naruto-sama and cause him physical harm of some kind." Back in Suna. Be that as it may. Temari stated firmly, "I haven't seen you in forever, and it's mostly your fault. And I'm fairly certain you've been doing stupid things while you've been busy. What are you going to do to make that up to me, Naruto pulled out his wallet in a placating fashion. "I am going to make a ton of money once I get around to grabbing my bounty check from your brother. So if I take you out to do whatever you want like the last time I pissed you off, would that work out?" Temari's eyes shone as she grabbed Naruto's forearm firmly and pulled him out of the cafe. "Let's go then." Naruto tried holding onto the doorframe in vain. "Wait. I have a job to do. I'm guarding Bar-chan." Temari-chan let go. 2 days later, the day of the Chunin exam finals. Gaara and Tsunade, in full cage garb, were seated in a box overlooking the entire stadium, which was an open-air coliseum at the outskirts of Suna, dug halfway into the cliff surrounding the village. The battlefield was earthy, mostly rocky earth with boulders lining parts of the field. Naruto and Shizune were flanking Tsunade while Gaara had Kankuro and Temari doing the same for him. While the genin up for promotion were down on the field, Naruto had taken to pointing them all out in his own way. "I could beat him, her, him, oh that kid wouldn't last 5 seconds with me." Sakura, Ino, Chuji, and Kiba were the Konoha ninja that had made it this far this time around. All of the others had been promoted in the previous exam, leaving them as the ones that needed to pass this time. Naruto frowned at seeing Sakura down there. "Man, I kind of screwed Sakura over when I advanced in rank, didn't I? After Sasuke left, she didn't have a team, so trying to take this again must have been a major pain in the ass." Tsunade tried to get him to take some blame off of himself. "She rotated between active teams while I trained her and was on Chuji and Ino's team the last time she made an attempt. They were all simply matched against opponents that they couldn't handle in the first round fights and were forced out. Sakura fought Neji Hyuga, Chuji fought Rock Lee, and Ino fought Hinata Hyuga. Of course you weren't there to see it." Naruto rolled his eyes. "And whose fault is that? You had me working like a slave, so how was I supposed to show up and watch? Besides, I'm not that important to them, they had to have forgotten about me by now. The only one that should even have a semblance of care about me is Shikamaru, and that's because I've worked with him on the mission to Kiri and did a border patrol for 2 weeks with him." "You would be surprised, brat," Tsunade assured as the proctor for the fights, Baki, called for the fighters to acknowledge the crowd that had come to see them today. One of Gaara's Suna ninja made their way to the box and bowed to him. "Kazekage-sama, the Chushikage and his entourage have arrived and are making their way to the box as we speak." Naruto cracked his neck to the side. "And here we go. Let's get this over with." Shizune looked over to Naruto. "Naruto-kun, pull your hood up." Naruto shook his head. "To hell with that, I'm not hiding when I don't have to. Bar-chan didn't order me to cover up, so I'm not doing it. If he's dumb enough to cause a stir here, then I have to seriously doubt his status as Chushikage." There was no more time left to speak about the subject as the man in question made his way into the area of seating. A small man dressed in the cage robes of his own village with the kanji for earth on his hat made his way towards the seat on Gaara's left, opposite of Tsunade's seat. The man had a large bulbous nose and a Fu Manchu mustache-beard combination. Accompanying him was a large man with dark eyes and hair that spiked out from the back of his red bandana-style Hatei-8. He had big cheeks and a plump nose and wore the Iwa brand flak jacket and a yellow scarf over his red long-sleeved shirt and red pants. Also accompanying him was a girl with short black hair and pink pupil-less eyes. Under her Iwa flak jacket she wore appeared to be a kimono with the right sleeve missing as well as the bottom left side, and underneath that she had fishnet tights and shorts. He took his seat, prompting Gaara to initiate conversation. "I am happy you were able to make it to the event, Chushikage Dono." The Chushikage gave Gaara what looked to be a somewhat haughty smirk. It's been quite a while since I've made the trip to watch an exam outside of the village. When the opportunity was offered, I just had to jump all over it for once. I needed a vacation. He looked over at Sunad. Well, Sunad, how's the job since you took over? I never pegged you for cage work. Sunad let out a small laugh. Let's just say that Konoha gave me an offer to return that I couldn't refuse. It's a bet I was willing to take. On the field, Sakura was fighting first, standing out face to face against male Sunagakure. Along with her still short pink hair, Sakura now had a red hate in her hair. Her top was similar to the dress she wore a few years back, but was just the top. She had black high-heeled shinobi sandals, black shorts, a short pink apron-like skirt, and pink elbow protectors, as well as a tanto and a medic field pack on her lower back. As she stared her opponent down, she pulled a pair of black gloves onto her hands. Upon being allowed to start by Baki, Sakura attempted to rush right towards the boy who jumped out of the incoming pink-haired girl's path as she headed in to attack him. She made a set of half a dozen bunshin to disorient the boy and allow her to get closer while he tried figuring the right one. Gaara turned to Sunad as the battle progressed. Your apprentice is fighting much the same way she did in the Chunin exam that I competed in Hokage Dono. How would she go about winning this fight? Sunad smirked. That's easy, Kazekage Dono. She's a woman and an obvious medic nin, and he's a man and probably more of a direct combat type. That means he thinks she isn't physically skilled and he'll attempt to get close. Gaara looked somewhat puzzled. What does that mean? The Chushikage knew what she was referring to and let out a laugh. Oh, this will be funny. Keep your eyes on the fight, young one, and you'll see what she's talking about in just a moment. The boy had managed to discover which of the copies were fake and now had the real Sakura, but hitting her with any of his weaponry proved to be an arduously difficult task as she seemed to be effortlessly moving out of the way of everything he sent her way. Getting upset now, the boy rolled through hand signs, Fuyuten, Kyoryokuna Kase no Unari, wind release, powerful wind wave. The Sunagakure shot off a powerful blade of wind at Sakura, who took to ducking behind the boulders produced on the battlefield. The technique cut into, but not through her cover, showing that the boy was not fully adept at using the element. 3 versions of Sakura came from behind the boulder, charging his way. Not this again. The boy said before reaching into his kunai pouch and hitting them with more weapons, dispelling their illusionary forms, keeping his eyes peeled around him for more instead of keeping himself locked on the boulder Sakura initially took cover behind. As his attention was diverted to search for Sakura, the boulder that he had cut into had been lifted off of the ground into Sakura's arms before being tossed across the field at him. He felt it coming at the last moment and dodged to potentially save his life. As he jumped far to the side, he never noticed that Sakura had anticipated his movement and moved to cut him off upon the point he found it necessary to turn around and face her again. As he turned his head, all he saw was Sakura with her fist cocked back, and that was the last thing he saw for the rest of the fight. Sakura's fist collided with his jaw, sending him flying across the field into the stadium wall, leaving a deep impression in the wall where her opponent's body had hit. Baki made his way over and found the Sunagakure utterly responseless. Lifting his hand in Sakura's direction, he spoke, "Shusa, Sakura Haruno." As applause sounded out for Sakura's victory, Naruto looked at a very pleased Sunad while giving the girl applause of his own. Damn Sakura, Kami, you just had to go and teach her how to do that, didn't you? From what I remember as a genin on Kakashi's team, she already hit hard enough, though that never made its way towards fighting, just the back of my head really. Sunad applauded and turned her eyes to Naruto. Hey, I have free reign to teach my apprentice what I want. If Jiraiya could teach you the spinning blue orb of death and how to summon toads, then I can give Sakura a little strength boost. Naruto sweet dropped. A little strength boost. I sincerely hope she never goes back to her old habit of trying to smack me one like when we were fresh genin. Getting hit every blue moon by you is enough. The Chushikage entered the conversation, forcing Naruto to subconsciously steal his features. So if that girl down there is your apprentice Sunad and you claim that this kid here has learned the Rasengan from Jiraiya and how to summon toads, does that mean he's Jiraiya's apprentice as well? That's curious. He got a look at Naruto, who until that point he had overlooked as a random bodyguard, and almost had a PTSD flashback at the serious look in Naruto's eyes before settling himself. You know, he looks awfully familiar. I never forget a face, especially a face that caused so much impact to my village. Naruto, Shizune, and Sunad frowned inwardly. Here we go, they all thought at the same time. The blonde currently being scrutinized looked at his blonde leader. Hey Bar-chan, can I just come out and say it? It's clear he already knows and just wants confirmation, and you know that I can't stand a badly kept secret. Tsunade frowned and nodded. What's with the Bar-chan brat? You started out calling me Hokage-sama. Naruto shrugged. When you let me speak freely in Gaara's office, you never told me to shut up or rein myself in. I used that as a loophole to keep saying what I wanted. He admitted, getting a small sweet drop from Tsunade for such a simple tactic. He then locked eyes with the Chushikage, as much as he could anyway, with the man's hat obscuring them from full view. As for why I look familiar, well, I'm the son of Minato Namikaze. My name is Naruto Uzumaki and it's nice to meet you. That brought looks of shock from Temari, Kankuro, and the Chushikage's two bodyguards. As the Chushikage allowed Naruto to look in his eyes, he didn't see any real hatred, mostly amusement. Really, I honestly believed they had resurrected the man from the grave for a moment when I first looked at you, kid. But then I got a look at those marks on your cheeks, and that name. You're the Jinchuriki of your village, aren't you? Naruto nodded, guilty as charged. You're not going to yell at me and tell me to die for my father or something. Because that's really what I was expecting the second you got a look at me. The Chushikage looked back out at the arena. I'm getting too old to hold grudges against dead men. You weren't even a screaming brat yet when all of that happened, so how could I possibly justify trying to take you out? It's not like Iwa is looking to fight with Konoha and you know Haraishin or something. Man, that would be so badass. Naruto grumbled to himself. I need something cool like that. Every Kage or famous ninja has something cool that nobody else can do. I don't have jack, I'm just a Jinchuriki, therefore if I am known, I'm known as the Jinchuriki kid, not Naruto of something, just Naruto the Jinchuriki. The girl that was guarding the Chushikage was in shock at how Naruto was casually speaking to her Kage. How can you just speak to the leaders of 3 of the 5 great shinobi nations so casually? Nobody ever talks to Gramps like that. Naruto turned his attention to her. I hung out with the Sandaime Hokage all the time from the age of 8 until his death. I call the current Hokage Tsunade Barkin to her face, mostly because it's actually appropriate. And hey, Gaara, Naruto said, getting the Ichibi Jinchuriki's attention, you remember that time you and your siblings spent the week at my house? You guys still owe me grocery money. Naruto smirked. Unless I'm told to be meek and compliant to the honorifics that everyone uses for each other, I won't use them. I hate being like that. Sometimes these guys just need someone that is willing to treat them like everyone else. You seem to be pretty familiar with the Chushikage to be calling him Gramps, so what does that mean? The girl glared slightly. Because he's my grandfather. What else would I call him? Naruto chuckled. That's a better excuse than I have for why I call Bar-chan what I call her. I was just being a bastard when I met her and called her granny. I had no idea we were actually related somehow, so now she has no reason to tell me to not call her that. Naruto was still somewhat wary, but was satisfied at the moment that the Iwa contingent didn't flat out want him dead. He was very happy about that. As the contestants for the next bout entered the field, he figured maybe he was being all paranoid about the Chunin exams for nothing. There was no way that he would go 2 for 2 in regards to catastrophic situations, right? Nobody's luck was that hit or miss. He wasn't even in this one. Sasuke-kun, is this really what you would like? Orochimaru asked, heading into Sunagakure just for Naruto-kun seems a tad over your head. Questioning Sasuke's abilities, no matter how seemingly suicidal his task, was always the perfect way to push him into pretty much anything. Sasuke grunted, I'll finish him off and we'll be right out of there. It'll be so fast no one will even know we were there. I can't believe Leader Sama told us to come all the way into the fucking desert just for the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. A man with slicked back silver hair cursed as he and his masked partner strode through the desert. Isn't he Itachi and Kisam's mark? Where the hell are they for this? The masked man sighed, just deal with it hidden and stop complaining about it. The sooner we finish this mission, the sooner I can go back out looking for more bounties. Besides, this kid killed Sasori. Maybe he can do me a favor and finish you off once and for all. Hey, Hidden laughed, if he can do it he's more than welcome to try Kakazu. Unlike the rest of you heathens, I'm Jashin Sama's chosen one. None of you fools can kill me. Kakazu shook his head, well maybe if we can get the Ichibi as well, Leader Sama will give us a bonus. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.